I didn't.
I'm detecting a through line in your concerns with me this week. I really enjoyed filling in, but every time we talk about, my new job, my new life, you express deep concern for your privacy.
Yes. As you know, I will never talk to you as long as you do that on the air.
Come on the pod.
Talk to you off the air all you want. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. Wilbon apparently has better things to do, so I am joined by our great friend, the host of said podcast, Pablo Torre finds out, Mr. Pablo Torre. And we begin today with embarrassment for baseball. A leaked document indicates that the league has privately admitted to the umpires union that the new automatic ball strike system needs, quote, refinements to its accuracy, unquote, less than 1 week into the season. The system currently tracks the pitch where it crosses the halfway point of the plate, but the league now admits it should be slightly further forward towards the mound to better account for breaking balls. The result is that many pitches have been mistracked by as much as a full inch. Baseball currently plans to keep all results to this point as is. Pablo, if you were umpires or pitchers or batters or even bettors, how would you feel about this?
Oh, I would feel incredibly disturbed. Tony, look, the micro of this story is that this is obviously seismic. The macro, just to take the position of the umpire, the ref, we have been living through this month kind of unprecedented disrespect for this position. In the NFL, they're talking about, do we even need the full-time real refs anymore? Do we need the pros? Can we get the semi-pro guys working D2, D3? Is that good enough? And in baseball, of course, the solution to how are we going to advance the game has been, what if we let the robots help us make fun of the humans doing these jobs? So what insane vindication for the humans that we've discounted this entire time, that they actually had a point despite our best efforts.
So the interesting thing to me is when I heard about the story this morning, the first person I thought about was C.B. Buckner, who actually took a foul tip in the mask today and had to leave the game. But prior to that, there was a lot of embarrassment for him because he was missing pitches left and right. Last night, he missed a guy landing on first base. I mean, if I were him, I would have to think about suing baseball for defamation of character. He finds out about this, he's got to be the happiest guy in the world because it feels like vindication. I don't have any particular compassion for bettors. We've mentioned that because I am not a bettor myself. But if you allow betting on a sport, you have to guarantee the integrity of the sport. And this, there was no integrity here. When you say that an inch is a very small amount, an inch is a small amount, but on that grid, an inch sometimes looks like a foot. You sort of have to get this right. Baseball needs to feel embarrassed, Pablo, because they've gotten every other change right. They've been scrupulous in the other changes, and this one looks bad.
Oh, it's a heat check for the commissioner's office, which has gotten a bit high, clearly on their own supply. And at this point, every rules enforcement story is a business story because of gambling. And because, by the way, I don't know, I would demand an asterisk on every statistic up to this point if I'm an umpire. The reverse asterisk.
That's a good place to end. I'm sort of done with this story. Do you want to tell them or should I?
Do you want to tell them that we have an asterisk over this entire topic because, of course, it is April Fool's and I've been pulled into compromising my journalistic integrity by lying to America with you for the last, I don't know what that was, 2 minutes? You want to say that?
Yeah, it makes me happy. It makes me happy because we do this every year and it works every year. And I believe this story. So go ahead. Continue with the show.
Yeah, let me try to rebuild my credibility journalistically by talking about some actual performances in real baseball last night. Tony, Shohei Ohtani threw 6 scoreless innings and got the win in his first start of the season for the Dodgers. That is real and fantastic. Max Fried of the Yankees is now 2-0 and has yet to yield a run. Max Scherzer, at 41 years old, stepped up for a banged-up Blue Jays staff and got the win, giving up just 1 run over 6. And the Phillies' prized rookie, Andrew Painter, struck out 8 and got the win as fans were egging him on with paintbrushes. So, Tony, whose start is most worth getting excited about?
Okay, so I love Max Scherzer. He's the warrior god. You may not know this. He's had a very hurt thumb for a couple of years. He is now playing piano. He's like Beethoven to try and ease the pain in the thumb. If he were to give them a good year this year and eat up a lot of innings, they could go to the World Series again. They could. But he's also 41, as you mentioned, and I don't want to get too carried away on April 1st. I don't. I watched Painter last night. I watched because he was pitching against the Nats. I watched from my perch on channel 1261, And he was very impressive coming out of Tommy John surgery. And he's big, 6'7". That's an ABS 6'7". That's not a program height 6'7". That's a real
That's right.
6'7". But let me not get too emotional here. The only answer to this question is Shohei Ohtani. 6 innings, 1 run, no, I'm sorry, 1 hit, no earned, 6 strikeouts. People on the Dodgers believe that Shohei Ohtani wants to win the Cy Young, probably this year. He has now not given up, going back to last year, not given up an earned run in 22 2/3 innings. Pablo, if he wins the Cy Young, he might be the greatest baseball player ever. Babe Ruth's the most important player. Shohei might be the greatest player ever. Last year he had 55 home runs. The year before, 54 and 59 steals. If you add a Cy Young to that, who do you compare him to?
Yeah, I spent some amount of time trying to muster up the energy to argue. Max Fried, the Yankees. Look at this pitching staff. Look how many shutouts they're just casually tossing out there. And it makes me feel great as a Yankee fan. But the history of this, of the Ohtani question, is undeniable. I love that against scientific counsel, Shohei Ohtani wants to win a Cy Young. Right? Like, I talked to Tom House, Tony, who is one of the foremost authorities on throwing objects. He's coached.
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
Of course, you know him. Caught Hank Aaron's home run as well. That dude, that historical figure, has told me Ohtani should just come in relief. Like, have him be the relief phase. Have him limit his innings because, of course, doing 2 jobs is unprecedented for a reason. It is medically unadvisable. And we've seen him, of course, get hurt in recent years. But the fact that he wants the award you give to the best starting pitcher, that is a gift to baseball. I don't know if the Dodgers should want it, but we should, as the fans, should want it.
I think Sandy Alcantara today threw a 3-hit shutout right over 9 innings, but we were talking about last night. Let me just say this. These other pitchers are marvelous. Max Scherzer's going to the Hall of Fame. Max Fried, as a Yankee, is 21-5. The Painter kid may be great, but Shohei Ohtani is in another league. We've not seen anything like this guy. He's in another league. The range he has is amazing. Let's move to college basketball. The Final Four is still a few days away, so we can do a soft story here about coaches. Tommy Lloyd is at Arizona, having come from Gonzaga 5 years ago. Dusty May is at Michigan, having come from Florida Atlantic 2 years ago. They're both hot, and North Carolina needs a coach. Pablo, is it a no-brainer for Lloyd or May to leave their current gig if North Carolina beckons?
I think it is, and this is the story where Arizona fans wish was fake. Tommy Lloyd, Tony, I'm reading the quotes, and it's very funny what he is not saying. Because here's what he is saying. Arizona will have a very good coach after me. And just from a pure psychological test perspective, you do know what you're making every Arizona Wildcats fan feel when they hear that. You're basically setting the stage for, I wanted this job back when Hubert Davis got it. I would love to have it because as good as Arizona is, and as much as the economy of college basketball has balanced out because of NIL and the transfer portal, there are some schools that are a city on a hill. And Chapel Hill has shown a willingness to throw money at all sorts of bad decisions, including Bill Belichick, including perhaps Hubert Davis, although he won early on. But to follow the guy who just got fired, to follow that guy, what an ideal scenario for Tommy Lloyd.
So, you know, I'm the wrong one to ask about this topic because I'm very old. And I'm old enough to know that North Carolina is one of the pillars of college basketball. There's North Carolina, Kentucky, UCLA, and maybe Kansas. And their successes predate Duke's success. So for me, if you tell me North Carolina wants you, I say to go. I say you have to follow in the footsteps of Frank McGuire and Dean Smith and Roy Williams. That's what I say as an older person. But let me also say this. Michigan is not a junior college. They've been to the Final Four 9 times. They have a national championship. Arizona is not a D3 program. They've been to the Final Four 5 times, and they have a national championship. So you don't automatically have to go, except that I think you do. Because, again, I'm old, and that is my orientation here. And there's one other thing that I would say about going to North Carolina. The path to winning in the ACC right now is easier than the path to winning in either the Big Ten or the Big 12.
I agree.
So it might help you from that standpoint. Yeah.
Look, I've been thinking, like, we saw what Curt Cignetti did in Indiana, right? When is it going to be the case when, you know what, I'd like to be at the equivalent of Indiana in college basketball, and it's not Michigan nor Arizona because those are both previous contenders in recent years.
Yes, sure.
But at a certain point, it will not be the case that the brand matters, but everybody involved in this conversation, including me, including the candidates, they're all old enough to know the difference, and we're not quite there yet in college hoops.
And I'm not saying that this is a real big deal, but if stature is important to you, nothing conveys stature in college basketball more than North Carolina. Not more than North Carolina. Let's take a break. Coming up, the Knicks lose to a winning team again. What's the word for that?
And how best to describe tomorrow night's matchup between the Lakers and the Thunder.
That Shohei Ohtani performance, come on. Come on. When have we seen someone like him? The answer, I think, is never.
I don't know the argument against him being the greatest. You'd have to literally make a fake story to beat that guy in real life.
Time to go word for word with Pablo. That's a tough task. He went to the University of Harvard. You know, what's first?
It's blank that the Knicks have lost their last 5 games against teams with winning records.
It's scary. Scary in this sense because in the playoffs, I believe you have to play teams that have winning records. And that's where the Knicks are headed. Let's go through this if we could, Pablo. Let me bring up the legal pad. They lost last night to Houston by 17 points. Before that, they lost to Oklahoma City by 11 points. Before that, they lost to Charlotte by 11 points. Before that, they lost to the Clippers by 8. And before that, they lost to the Lakers by 13. These are sizable margins. A couple of weeks ago, the Knicks were at one point in the process of winning 7 in a row and getting universal praise from everybody on television and radio and podcast world and all of that. But all of the teams they beat had losing records. And again, I bring this up, unlikely to face teams with losing records in the playoffs. Unlikely. So it feels like foreshadowing, and it feels a little scary.
Yeah, watching you with your white doctor coat is obviously triggering to me on multiple levels that are deep-seated in my childhood. The Knicks being part of the conversation feels just cruel, because the word I have is symptomatic, speaking of the medical field. It is symptomatic of a larger disease that plagues this team, and the disease is not one in which, guess what, you're about to die. The disease is, guess what, you're just never going to be as good as you need to be to win a title. There's a cruelty in mediocrity. Again, I'm speaking and projecting at the same time my own personal insecurities. There's a cruelty in not being good enough to win the thing, but not bad enough to ever fully reset and come to grips with what you really are. And the Knicks last season, yes, Jason Tatum gets hurt. They can beat the Celtics. Whoa, they surprised the Pistons. That's an incredible thing in the first round. Absolutely. But the same stuff that happened last year, losing to the good teams, is happening again. And they changed the coach. And so I'm telling you, there are deeper-seated issues that are more familiar than anybody wants to admit.
Does it make you jealous that I was at the Willis Reed game, May 8th, 1970? I was there. What's next?
Thursday's matchup between the Lakers and the Thunder should be blank.
I've got MVP predicting. This is Luka Doncic against Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. These are the 2 best scorers in the entire NBA. Luka had 42 last night. I think that the Lakers are 15-3 lately. What did I write down? 18-2 lately. And Luka's had 3 games in a row of 40 or more points. But Gilgeous-Alexander dropped 47 the other night on Detroit, a good team, probably a better team than Cleveland, which is who Luka did it to. And their team, Oklahoma City, in the month of March was 14-1. And I believe, and you can check this out, I believe that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has scored 20 or more points in the last 5,000 games. Now, they're not the only candidates. I like Jaylen Brown, there's certainly Victor Wembanyama, Nikola Jokic. But this is a game that you plan actually to sit down and watch and to bring your MVP ballot with you.
Oh, it's such an electric television show, this game. And yet my word is infuriating. And I will explain why.
Why?
It's infuriating.
Please.
Well, Tony, you're old enough to have watched Willis Reed overcome injury in dramatic fashion. It's not very often that you get players of this caliber that are basically given away by their former teams. And so the lens I see this question through is
that's true.
It's a perspective of the Mavericks as Mark Cuban is now collapsing onto his fainting couch over what he had done. What a horrible mistake to sell the team and let them trade away Luka, of course, to the Lakers. And I'm looking at it through the lens of the Clippers, my familiar lens. I see lots of things through these days. But the Clippers, keep in mind, to get Kawhi Leonard, they listened to Kawhi, who basically said, you know what, I want Paul George. You can get rid of the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander kid. And so here you have two all-time, I mean, certainly in the modern era, generational stars. A bit of an error, a bit of a medical oversight, you might even say.
Yeah. No, that's very good. I agree with that completely. That's the final word. Let's take one last break. Still to come. Tiger steps away from golf to seek treatment. Good.
And the U.S. men's soccer team falls again.
The Lakers, I'm corrected in my ears, 16-2 over that stretch. Whatever numbers I had on the legal. Happy time, people. Happy 62nd birthday, Scott Stevens. The Hall of Fame defenseman played 22 years in the NHL. He started with the Washington Capitals, who drafted him 5th overall in 1982. Stevens was in Washington for 8 years. The Caps did not get to the Stanley Cup final in those pre-Ovechkin years. From there, Stevens went to St. Louis for 1 season, and then he went to the New Jersey Devils and played there 13 years. The Devils won 3 Stanley Cups in that time, with Stevens anchoring their defense and Martin Brodeur in goal. They swept Detroit in 1995, beat Dallas 4-2 in 2000, and Stevens won the Conn Smythe, and then beat the Anaheim Ducks 4-3 in 2003. In 2017, Stevens was named one of the NHL's top 100 players.
If you are just meeting Scott Stevens through this highlight reel, what you're thinking to yourself is, man, that guy seems like a real enforcer. And on some level, of course, he is so physical that he embodies that. Also happened to be, yes, the highest paid defenseman of his time, and also just simply one of the greatest players who also embodied, I dare say, the ethos of New Jersey in his toughness, despite even not necessarily wanting to play for the Devils at the very beginning when he was leaving St. Louis.
Happy anniversary, Villanova. On this day 41 years ago, the 8th-seeded Wildcats shocked the college basketball world by beating top-seeded Georgetown and their great center Patrick Ewing in the NCAA title game 66-64. Georgetown had beaten Villanova twice during the regular season, but Rolly Massimino's team shot an amazing 9 for 10 from the field in the second half. Villanova waited 31 years to get to another final, but won 2 with Jay Wright in 2016 and 2018, which is why there will be a line around the corner to hire Wright if he ever says he's interested in coaching again. Kevin Willard, in his first year coaching Villanova, took them to the tournament this year, but Nova was ousted in the first round by Utah State.
Yeah, the tradition of the Big East. Ezra Edelman did a documentary about the Big East. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. That is the conference that kind of radicalized me into appreciating and respecting college basketball. Tony, this was your era. I hope the kids out there realize what it was like that all of these characters roamed the earth at the same time.
Yeah, I was at that game, one of the greats of all time. Happy trails to this year's Masters for Tiger Woods. Tiger has released a statement saying that he's stepping away from the game to seek treatment and focus on his health. This comes in the wake of his car accident and arrest last week for suspicion of driving while under the influence, to which Tiger has pleaded not guilty. So Tiger will not play the Masters, and he said he's committed to taking the time he needs to get healthy. But Tiger has to step away. His well-being and the well-being potentially of others depend on it at this point.
Yeah, Tony, Tiger Woods is cursed by being Goliath that is lately also a David. Somebody who's trying to come back and prove that he still has it. And the public is unsparing because that's still the one guy the general population knows. And so you have a child star who's grappling with what it means to be 50 while also dealing with pharmaceutical drugs in a way that are clearly still plaguing him biologically.
I don't know that I can emphasize this enough, how big a deal Tiger Woods is in golf and in all sports over a long period of time. The younger golfers who are out there now, they adore him. They adore him. I mean, even something like the TGL series, when they take a shot of him walking into the arena, people get excited about it. He is that great. He doesn't have the championships that Jack Nicklaus had, but he's probably the greatest golfer of all time. And so when you see him in these conditions, your heart goes out to him. And it's very good, it seems to me, that he has decided, yes, I need help with this. I'm not able to do this on my own necessarily, so I'm going to take some time and get some help with this. I think that everybody in golf is rooting for him. Can we go to the big finish now? Here we go.
Please.
Paul Skeens gave up 1 earned over 5 in the Pirates' 8-3 win over the Reds this afternoon. Is that significant?
Yeah, because his ERA was 67.5, and now it's not. Portugal beat the U.S. men's soccer team 2-0 last night, 2-0 as they say. Is that a big deal?
I mean, I don't know. It's not the actual World Cup, but we've lost to Belgium and to Portugal. Now, we lose to European teams all the time. We're not that good.
All of them.
It's not our sport. Italy is out of the World Cup for a third straight time. Your thoughts?
Yeah, this is sad to lose in penalty kicks. Look, Italy, they've won 4 of these things. They should be a lot better. Kind of feels like they have some New York Knicks to them. The Jaguars will play in Orlando in 2027 while renovating their stadium in Jacksonville. Does that make sense to you?
Well, it makes sense to be in Florida. I mean, they should be somewhere in Florida, obviously. And it makes sense in the sense that I'm sure there are Waffle Houses in Orlando like there are
Lots
all
of
over
Waffle
Jacksonville.
Houses.
Sure. Last one, the Spurs go for their 10th win in a row tonight at the Warriors. Do you like their chances?
I do, because I like Victor Wembanyama. I like the fact that we're watching that guy, and he is roaming the earth right now.
He's something, isn't he? We're out of time. We'll try to do better the next time. I'm Tony Kornheiser. Good night, Canada.
And I'm Pablo Torre. Thank you for watching. Pablo Torre finds out as the show.